At the end of the last episode, I was left with a question that I couldn't ignore. If effort isn't what creates change, then what does? And for a while, I didn't have an answer, which is uncomfortable. Because if you've literally spent years trying to work your way out of something, you expect there to be a next step, a more refined approach to move ahead. But what started to become clear is that I was no longer searching for a better strategy. I had been missing something else entirely. Because every approach that I had used had one thing in common. They all assumed that I needed to get out of how I felt. That the anxiety, the heaviness, the patterns were all problems that needed to be fixed or removed. And that assumption was never questioned. It just sat there under everything that I was doing. But once I started to see that my efforts weren't changing anything, that whole assumption started to feel less solid. Because if trying to get out of it wasn't working, then maybe the issue wasn't how I was trying. Maybe it was the fact that I was trying to get out at all. And that's a very different kind of realization, because all of a sudden I'm not asking, how do I change this? I began to ask, what if I've been relating to this in the wrong way? And that question doesn't lead you forward as you might expect. It doesn't give you something to do. It actually just slows everything down. Because instead of moving away from the experience, you start to notice it. Not to fix it, not to analyze it, just to see it. And at first, that feels like nothing. It can even feel like you're doing less, like you're letting something stay that you should be changing. But then something subtle begins to shift, because the moment that you're no longer trying to get out, you're no longer in the same type of struggle. You're still aware of the feelings, but you're not involved in an effort to change them. And that space is different. I didn't fully understand it right away, but I could feel that there was something different about being this way. It wasn't the same as before. It wasn't effort. It wasn't control. It was something quieter than that. And that's when things started to change for me. See you in the next episode.